Hello and welcome to Divine Horses and Humans. I'm Jason J. Divine and this is Divine, so you're watching Divine Playlist. So the theme today is doing nothing. That there's huge values in doing absolutely nothing with horses like this. I'm going to let Divine do what she wants, when she wants, where she wants and how she wants. And I'm going to try and stand here and not put my energy or my focus onto her. Yeah, I'm just going to be here looking around, making sure that everything's good, this, that and the other. A bit like a herd of horses would do. Because there's a value in it. If she wants to chew grass, she can chew grass. And yeah, if you're going to go, oh, she's a bit fat, jog on. I don't care what you think. I'm here as an ex-professional working in the industry for over a decade, being in the horse industry for over 2.5 decades, and it's just like there's a hole, and that hole is in foundations, putting foundations into horse, groundwork. And I'm not on about lunging, I'm not on about long lining, I'm on about rear hind disengagement, front end disengagement, teaching them to flex. So if they're flexible through the spine, they're calm in their mind. Yeah, teaching them how to relax, balancing them up, because the one key thing that's completely overlooked in this country, because they do everything for the left, so horses become really unbalanced and they get this leftyitis thing, is you have to teach both sides of a horse. You have to teach the right hand side, really got that right, and you have to teach the left hand side of the horse to make a complete horse. So you'll get certain horses that will only present themselves to you on the left hand side because that's where they're comfortable. And the reason that is because they haven't got a very big frontal lobe, this thing up here that gives us reasoning. So the value of doing nothing. The value of doing nothing is going to learn about your sympathetic nervous system and how it works, and learning about a horse's sympathetic nervous system, and then you're going to go and learn about cortisol and how it affects you and how it affects horses. Cortisol is what is released into the body when you go into flight, fight or freeze. Horses are loaded with it, absolutely loaded with it. And you can see when they hold that tension. And I've met a lot of horses that hold that tension, and people will brand that horse with human values and emotions. Stupid, it's arrogant, it's ignorant, it's plotting against me, it's not my fault, it's the horse's fault. Well, horses will either blow up, where they will buck rear, do everything to get out of it, or they will just lock up, what they would call cooked. And that's when they're real dangerous, because at some point they could just explode. I've met an awful lot of horses in my journey, and I've worked with hundreds of horses, if not thousands of horses, that are just cooked, and everybody thinks they're a calm horse. And it's like, no, and there's this explosion waiting to go off underneath their skin, because everything's been done to them. They've been micromanaged, or even mushroom managed, where they're just fed shit, SH1T, and they're kept in the dark, literally. I have known people in my time in the British Equine, well, to actually lock horses into dark stables to teach them a lesson. I don't know what lesson they're trying to teach them, but the one thing we need to remember is we're predators. And when people go, oh yeah, but I love my horse and all that, but you put all this barbaric shit on its face and in its mouth, and you pull on them and you use leverage angles to get more leverage on them to pull their head in, because you've got an animal that's in flight mode, that's out of control, that's just running pure cortisol, and you're going, oh no, it's just because he's spirited, he's forward, he's this, he's BS, absolute BS. You don't love that horse. Because if you did love that horse, you would go and try and understand more about the sympathetic nervous system and what cortisol can do to humans and horses. And the thing is that there's this mentality in the British horse world that, oh, she'll ride anything, brave as you like, fearless, or he's fearless. Stupid, absolutely stupid. And a lot of these horses, you see how she's off over there, she's looking over there, so she's picked up on something, so I'm going to go, right, okay, then we'll both have a look out over here, right, because I'm trying to simulate being a part of a herd. So you watch horses in herds, they will literally stand and do nothing, yeah, until they have to move, because they're conserving energy. Right, so her nostrils are real flared, and you can tell she's sniffing something in the air. And as I said, and this is, once again, sympathetic nervous system. So I'm aware of something over there, right, but what do I have to do? Do I have to leave? So at the moment, she's in what I would call a freeze state. So she's working out, right, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? Ears are forward, eyes are open, nostrils are open. And this is where people go, oh, you know, look at that horse. And that's where you've got to be really aware of them. When they're in that state, ears are forward, eyes are wide, and nostrils are open, right? Because they're out there. She's not in here. She's out there. And that's when people think that horses are forward going, this, that, and the other. Because they're not connected to their rider. They're not connected to the person on the ground. You would believe the amount of horses I've worked with that literally you will lead them and they'll be everywhere else. They'll be looking everywhere. They'll walk on you, they'll bump into you because they're not aware that they have a sphere around them, like we have a sphere around them, and it shouldn't cross over. Only time it crosses over is when I put my foot in a stirrup to get myself up into the saddle. But this is where I talk about the value of doing nothing. I'm not going to go over there and go, no, I want you to hook onto me. No, she needs to make that decision herself. So she's just looked at me, so I've turned around and looked at you, because that's another thing. When a horse gives you two eyes, you need to just turn your back and go, okay, right, because like, oh, right. And that tells them they're not going to die. So I said, now she's moving her jaw and chewing and licking, so she's like, right, fear's over now, cortisol's gone, she's produced a bit of serotonin that's sort of probably come through, and now she's going to produce dopamine, right? So she's lowered her head a little bit, she's cocked, she's looking at me, not going to die. And we need to understand this. And if you don't understand it, and you don't want to understand it, you're going to hide into trouble with horses. Because I've met so many troubled horses that it's not their fault, it's humans. You don't get horses with horse problems, you get horses that have got a problem with a human being or human beings in the past, the present, and maybe the future. Because if you can't catch a horse in a field, if you can't literally just walk up to a horse and go like that, and when you walk towards them, they leave, they don't want anything to do with a human being. They don't want anything to do with you. So you have to trap them and get people out, and you trap them, and so you make them feel even more anxious and more flighty, producing more cortisol, so the problem just escalates. Then you get on their back and they duck out of something and dump you on the floor because they're fearful all the time, and especially fearful on the right-hand side, not so much the left. Because the world I frequent, that's where the prey animal lives, in the right-hand side. The left-hand side is where the thinking animal lives. Right, so she's dropped the rope on the floor, she's lowered her head, that's fine, I've got no problem. But what I'm going to say to you as well, when you approach a horse, try and approach them from their shoulder and not square onto them. Use one side. If you know they're better on the left side, use that. So you approach them and you go in, and like my left shoulder is onto her, right? And I'm on her left side, but I'm facing that way, and I'm just going to rub, and then I'm going to walk away. But I'm not going to go like this, right? Because in my experience, especially with horses you don't know, And it doesn't matter if someone's got, oh, that horse is bulletproof, and that doesn't matter. With horses you don't know, if you go like this, they flinch away from you. And I believe that's for the simple reason of, if somebody's going to hit a horse, they're going to use their right hand, because 95% of people are right-handed. But it's going to come over because the horse is higher, right? And they read body language. So if I rewind my life back to a kid, of when I was physically abused as a kid, I knew if I saw this action, if I saw this, yeah, get out of the way, or suck it up. If I got out of the way, I got it more. If I stepped into it and fought it, I got it more. So I just take it. And I am convinced that's what horses do. Convinced of it. They get to a point where they're going, I'm just going to do what I need to do to get them to go away, and I'm going to suck it up. And they forgive you, right? So when they start getting a bit more forward a bit, you just put a more barbaric bit in their mouth, because it's not about pressure, right? Bits don't produce pressure, they produce pain. End of. It's not pressure, it's pain. Right, but there again, the way that I was brought up, that was the pressure. Violence was the pressure. That was the pressure, was pain. And like I said, if you can't catch a horse in a field, right, you need to do more time, you need to do more stuff like this. The value of doing nothing. So if your horse doesn't want to come anywhere near you, if you can get that, go out to the paddock where that horse is, take a deck chair with you, take a book with you, take a flask of tea with you, and just sit there and read that book until that horse comes near you. Do not approach him, right? Because he's got to understand, oh, they're not going to attack me. Because if you started this pattern of going and catching them and hemming them in, you've started an algorithm. And you're starting to trigger that fear response, that cortisol. And I say it again, go research cortisol, go research the sympathetic nervous system in horses and in humans. And like I said, so many people, when they go to try and catch a horse, will just go straight onto it, like this, yeah? Because she gets it. That's predatory. You've got to change your nature and the way you walk and the way you stand. Right, I'm going to catch that horse, and you're official, because that's what they're like. You know, stand there with their arms crossed, and they read your body language. You have to learn to be a little bit nonchalant, a little bit less threatening in your body language and your thought process. If you're going to go out there and go, oh God, I can't catch this horse, it's a nightmare, it's going to turn into a nightmare. Like, if you go out there like you've got 5 minutes, it's going to take you all day. But if you go out there like, oh, it's fine, I've got all day, it's going to take you 5 minutes, and be a little bit nonchalant about it, like this is, and I'm putting my focus more on you, and oh, look at that over there, and yeah, it's so great, isn't it? All right, how you doing? Go in, touch her on the whip and walk away. Like she flicked me with her tail, go back in. There, look, see? See? Same reaction. So that, in some respects, it could be read one or two ways, couldn't it? I want you to go away, or, oh, hello, how you doing? But it starts with a mindset first. And that's what I'm trying to get across. And there has to be more people like me that are foundation specialists. We work on the ground and we work collective. You've got farriers, you've got vets, you've got dentists, you've got long rein experts, lunging experts, you've got riding instructors, jumping instructors, dressage instructors, you've got all of these. So where's the ones that are the actual groundwork specialists or experts or instructors? There isn't, is there? And that's where this huge hole is. And if you're going to go and work with horses on the ground, you need to have something to A, protect yourself, and B, to protect the horse. And there isn't anything out there that's going to teach you that in the British equine world, because the British equine world is not a very nice place. It is not a very nice place. They broke me mentally. And that's why I refuse to work in the industry. And And that's why I'm here doing what I'm doing, because I want to help people and I want to help horses. Horses foremost, then humans. But if you keep doing the same thing, you're always going to get the same result. And if you can't think differently, you're never going to get anything different. And if you do the same as what everybody else is doing, you're going to get the same results. And if you think that you can just go and buy another horse, yeah, that'll work, but it'll all come back. Because basically it starts and it finishes with the humans. We are a predator, they are a prey animal. And we need to keep that right at the front of our minds. And like as I said, we need to go and understand the sympathetic nervous system in human beings and in horses. If you go and understand those two things, you will have a huge, huge advantage under your belt, because you won't be kept under this illusion that everybody else is kept under. Because basically, I'm going to say it, basically here in the British equine world, they lie. They lie to you. They make out that it's all the horse's fault and it's rocket science and you've got to have a degree and you've got to have been around horses since the day you were born and all this. It's all lies. They lie and they're deceitful. They can lie to you and be deceitful to you. What are they to the horse? So if the horse runs away from them, the horse doesn't want to be near them, does he? No. And that says a huge, huge, huge amount. And like, one of the biggest problems I experienced with working in the industry was catching horses. And it's something I would work on, and I knew how to do it, and I could do it in my own sort of time. Okay, there was a few places, why did it take so long to catch that horse? Oh, she was just a bit of a nightmare today. And I know that horse is a bit of a nightmare, but I'd worked it out and it got better and better and better and better. And to one point that I got to a point of on one yard with a horse that was branded as a problem horse. Everybody was scared of it. It was a big horse that I would literally walk into the field and I'd whistle and I'd call her name and I would go like that. And she would come cantering down with her foal at her side, then break down into a trot and then stop, and then I'd go up to her and literally I would go up to her and I would go like that. I would literally stroke on her wither was up here. And then I'd put the head collar on her in a respectful way, like this, go round like this, and then like this, not this. And the boss demanded to know how I'd done it. And when I told her I'd built a relationship with this horse because she's my work colleague, she told me to stop being so stupid. That's just stupid. It's an animal. But she thought money was going to buy her the best stock, but she didn't have the mentality. She just thought it was all, they were just stupid animals. And just stick dope down their neck to do everything. Have their teeth done, have their feet done, transport them. What's the point of having it? This is an ex-GP dressage horse that had locked up. And I'm not surprised, because she'd learnt to fight. She'd learnt to bare her teeth at people and people were scared of her. So people would give her violence back, threaten her. Because that's what horses do. Horses are black and white. They will threaten you and then they will do it. And that's what we have to be more like, black and white. But humans find that real hard because we live in a shade of grey. So anyway, at that, like, comment, share, subscribe and all that jazz, run and tell a friend. And said, bare bone basics. People need to be more educated in this. And if I can help one person out and one horse, I've achieved part of the mission, because we're here to help. And as I said, check out the description bar if you want to get hold of us. If you want to talk to us, you're going to have to voicemail me. Can't do it in written word. Or you're going to have to call me. But I'll talk to anybody about horses, and it's like the first place I'm going to start is, where are you mentally with this horse? That's what we're going to talk about. Okay, so that one, we'll catch you on the flip side.